All right, Monday, beer time, reflection time. Sort of, in that order. Cheers. Holy shit. Welcome back, everybody, to me doing the weekly Navel-Gazing, where I talk about all the things I didn't do last week, all the books I didn't read last week, and my kind of plans for next week, sort of. In approximately that order as well. So, what did I read last week? Well, I did read, the 3 short story collections by Harlan Ellison that are still, until tomorrow morning, free and audible, which is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, Pain God and Other Delusions, and From the Land of Fear. And I really, really enjoyed them all. They're fantastic. Go get them if you can. And, maybe I'll talk about them in a video, I'm not quite sure yet, but definitely go read them, they're great. Anyway, so that took like a lot of time. What else did I read? I did read, of course, The Circumference of the World by Navel-Gazing, which came out last Tuesday, and I read it immediately, and then I couldn't film a video because I got like a pretty brutal migraine, which does not work well with recording videos. But I did record a video after that. It's another fun book. Go read it. It's great. I can highly recommend that one as well. What else did I read? I did reread Thud by Terry Pratchett for the ongoing Discord read-along, which we had our discussion yesterday, and yeah, well, it's a good book. I mean, it's a Discord book. What do you expect? Of course I'll like it. So there was that. That's most of the reading I did last week. I did reread some more Dialectics of Enlightenment by Adorno and Horkheimer, because apparently that's what I'll do until the end of time. And I did start reading a companion on the works of Johann Gottfried Herder, because I'm maybe doing something with that in the future. We will see. It's interesting stuff in the more academic side of things. I think that covers all the reading I did last week, so there's that. What plans for reading do I have for this week? Well, Adama by Navel-Gazing comes out on Thursday, and I plan to read it as quickly as possible and talk about it. So that's something that will definitely happen. What I'll read until then, I have no idea yet. Something short, because, you know, I want to get done with it by Thursday, which does limit my options somewhat, but I'm sure I can, you know, figure something out. There's obviously enough books out there, but if you have something that you think I should talk about or read, then yeah, let me know. Maybe I have it in my Audible library, or I have or maybe I'll even have another credit left so I can get it. I'm always open for suggestions, and yes, I know I should read To Light the Lightning. I even have it on my phone already. It's a thing. It just takes time, and it's definitely too long to read before Thursday. So that one will have to come later. But I'm aware of it. It'll happen, I promise. So that's reading plans for this week. Maybe I'll manage to slip in Song for Our Bond by Guy Gavriel Kay to return to the ever-looming Sunday school. We will see. It's all open. So let's talk about videos and what I did and what I plan to do. Well, I did make like 1.5 videos, so to speak. I did record the video for Circumference of the World and publish it on Wednesday, and it's a great book, and I'm kind of okay with the video. I think I could have done better, but I could have done much worse as well, so we'll leave it at that. And yeah, I don't know, go read the book, go watch the video. I appreciate all of that. And then I finally managed to do a quick announcement video for the culture read-along, and we'll start with Consider Phlebas. The information's in that video. It's a short one, but you get the questionable privilege to see me wear different attire than usual, so there's that. Anyway, so that will happen. We've started talking about stuff on the Discord, the Unabridged Burners Discord, and we're talking about Consider Phlebas there. Join us if you feel like reading some science fiction by one of its greatest writers of the last 30 years, 40 years, almost 40 years by now. Crazy. So yeah, go do that, and go read Consider Phlebas. It's a good book. And then things kind of failed me, because I wanted to do a video on Maror by Navel-Gazing, which I've been wanting to do since March, when I first read it, and then I didn't do it. And then I tried to do it, on Saturday and it just didn't work, and then I tried to do it on Sunday and my technology failed me because I forgot to recharge my camera, so it just cut off and then I didn't have time to record it afterwards because of other things. So there we are. That video did not happen and I feel really bad for it. We'll talk about it in a moment, some more at least. And yeah, that's why I didn't do any more videos. So what will happen this week? Well, I guess I'll give that video for Maror another shot, because I want to have that video up before we talk about Adama, which brings me to that next video. Yes, I will try to make a video on Adama as well. It's sort of the thing that I want to do, which I guess makes me the one channel on BookTube with the most videos concerning the works of Lavie Tidhar at this point, which is scary. Anyway, here we go. That's the plans for videos. Everything else, maybe something on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, if I can come up with a good sort of framing for the video. We'll see. It's all up there. I'm very flexible when it comes to not following through on ideas for videos. I'm really good at that. Which, also leads to that last video that I'm always promising, which is, of course, the one about Brandon Sanderson and publication and the publishing industry and shit like that. It'll happen. It'll happen. And hopefully very soon. Which kind of brings me to the rambly part that we always have. And I think there are like two things that are kind of connected, maybe. Sort of, and I think part of that is the disaster of like Saturday and Sunday when I tried to talk about Maror and didn't, for all kinds of reasons, and that made me feel really bad, because this is something I set out to do, and it's like, yeah, I want to do this, and I set myself goals, and then I managed to fuck them up for all kinds of reasons. In this case, a really dumb mistake, like, forgetting to recharge my camera, which is definitely on me and really dumb. Or on Saturday, just, not figuring it out because it's complicated. It's a video about a very difficult, well, not difficult book, but like a book where I feel that there's more at stake than when I talk about, I don't know, Conan story or whatever. So that's sort of why I have higher, expectations for myself. And that's always a dangerous road to go down, which is, where these things become more complicated because, and I think that's sort of where these things become, complicated is the question of like, why am I doing this? Am I actually good enough to do this? Self-doubt is, something I'm really good at. I really enjoy No, I don't. But you know what I mean. And the question of like, what did I actually do? And it felt like last week felt like a lot of failure because I set out to do some specific goals and then I didn't, which, leads me down that very specific road of me feeling worthless because I don't do anything. I obviously currently am not doing anything of the sorts, like, having a regular job where you get money, which sort of is the way we measure success in this world for all the wrong reasons. So I already feel that constant nagging pressure is like, yeah, you're already a failure in the eyes of society because you're not providing anything. You're obviously not creating surplus value. You're not doing anything of the sort, which is, on the one hand, something I think about on like a rational level. I'm like, yeah, but that's not how a society that I want should, be organized. So worth, or whatever you want to call it, should, or benefit to society, or whatever you want to call it, should be measured in other ways. These other ways are, of course, could be, for example, providing entertainment, providing information, education, whatever, which broadly putting up videos on YouTube would fall under providing, I don't know, entertainment or education or something in between those two things, whatever you want to call, ranting about books on the internet it would be. And yes, that can be seen as a form of benefit to society or productivity, whatever you want to call it. The question there is, of course, does that, is it true? Am I providing that? And how do you measure that? Is it like number of views? Is it number of likes? Is it number of comments? Is it the content of comments? How do you do that? Right? It's like, am I actually providing something if only like 20 people watch a video? Well, yeah, obviously, because 20 people watch the video and hopefully took something out of that, and that's an impact on the world, because, having an impact on the world is kind of the goal here, right? So it's difficult because, growing up in a system like ours, capitalism and whatnot, it's very difficult to get completely rid of that, more like subconscious feeling that that's not how that works, and you should actually provide, or actually create worth or whatever in those standard measures of having a job, making money, doing all of these things. So that nagging thing is in my hindbrain, and whenever I'm not very strong mentally, or not, or for other reasons like kind of exhausted or whatever, that feeling that I'm creating something, that I'm worth something just by talking about books, for example, when that feeling kind of falters, that darker side, that pressure comes back in, which makes me feel even worse, and you get down into that cycle, which sucks, to put it mildly. So failing on Saturday and Sunday to record these videos was kind of fucked up. I don't know, and kind of raised those things, so I felt really bad yesterday. I feel better now because at least I'm, recording a video. But there's a second side to this, and I think that's sort of the problem of rising expectations. Because the more I try to do something, the harder it gets, right? I think about recording a video and I don't do it. The next day it feels even harder because I've raised the bar sort of internally. I start recording a video and it fails. I raise the bar internally again. The expectations grow higher and higher, and the fear of failure, the anxiety, grows at least as much, possibly even more, because, it feels like this insurmountable difficulty to do actually something, and you start feeling worse and worse, and just, getting scared to just switch on the camera and talk about something. Because what if you fuck up again? What if I get it wrong? Now, obviously, we're talking about books here, so the bar should be relatively low. Getting it wrong is somewhat difficult, or like it's difficult to judge what getting it wrong would mean. And that, I think, is kind of part of the problem. It's something I generally wrestle with. It's, probably connected to the depression and to the ADHD and stuff like that. It's like, even when I have to, deal with more serious subjects, I get like panic attacks when I have to deal with, and anxiety attacks when I have to deal with official bookkeeping or official bureaucratic, like, stuff, sending emails, reading emails, when I have to deal with bureaucracy, so like, I get panic attacks, and there, as well as in other situations, it takes me forever to overcome these things, and sometimes I feel that kind of moving over into the whole idea of, or like my stuff that I do here, which up to a point is obviously self-therapy, because I'm creating something, and that can, in theory, give me, feelings of self-worth if I pull it off. But I feel that sometimes moving over, this fear of not measuring up, which is irrational, because at the end of the day, there's nothing to judge whether I'm measuring up or not, except my own feelings of, or my own way of reading the situation, which once again comes down to, like, how am I measuring this? If the numbers are kind of the thing, and I try to not look at views of a video because they're depressing. But for example, comments, for example, are another way. It's like, hey, if people talk to me, that feels like I'm creating something worthwhile, because obviously someone found it necessary to say something. Now, obviously, I'm at fault here as well, because like when I watch other people's videos, I rarely comment. I rarely feel moved to comment. Even if I agree with something, I'm like, yeah, this was a really good video. And that's obviously like a reminder to myself. If I do that, I should also write a comment, go like, hey, look, great video, because it feels good to read that, and to be reminded that someone read this or watched it and said like, yeah, by the way, well done. So I think that's something I'm struggling with, and I think it's kind of weird, because as YouTubers, or you always get told to put in the calls to action, go like, yeah, subscribe, like, comment, because the algorithm needs it. Yes, the algorithm needs the likes and the views and the subscriptions and all that shit, because, sort of implicitly you want to grow your channel, you want to reach a wider audience, whether it's for monetary reasons or for just, getting your message out. But I think with comments, it's kind of weird when that gets caught up in there, because yes, comments help the algorithm, but they also help us as people because they show us someone cares. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what we want, right? We want other people to care about what we do. That's the goal. We want to notice or know or feel that we've had an impact on someone somewhere. That's at the root of so much of, being creative, of being public, going public with creativity. That's part of the thing. You want to impact the world on some minuscule level, and that's kind of where it kind of goes down. And as I said, on the other hand, we often just like, yeah, this is good. I click like. What else do I have to add? And the answer is, well, just a nice word might already be something, and that's certainly something I'm really bad at as well. So I totally get it. It's the whole like practice what you preach kind of thing, or figuring out. Like, I don't know. It's been a bad week. It's way too hot again. So fuck climate change and for annoying me even more, and making everything dark and depressing. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, I hope you read some good books last week, and I hope you had fun last week with something or other. And I hope you're having a good week. You'll, I don't know, read some good books, watch some good movies, go to some concerts if you want, have a good time, try to get away from that hellscape that is existence in the year 2023. Because, some of it sucks, but we can also get, some good bits here and there, and we should savor those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll try to get everything done that I want to get done this week. We'll see how it goes. I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. And I just realized that I forgot to say that, of course, I plan to make a video on Thud by Terry Pratchett because, this world. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, and thanks and cheers.